This video will show you how to replace the rear forward lateral link on a Pontiac Grand Prix. This will be located under the rear of your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Just a quick note, you will have to lower the rear subframe so we can gain access to some of our hardware. The first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Once you've done that, we're going to remove all 5 of our 19mm lug nuts and remove the wheel. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, as I look inside this area, I can see my lateral links. Now, of course, the next thing I like to do is just thoroughly inspect each one of the links on both sides of the vehicle to confirm they're not rotted or damaged. If they are, it's a good time to replace them, and I do them all at the same time. Now, after that thorough inspection, we're going to be following the lateral links all the way out towards our knuckle. There's a through bolt that makes its way from the front, through the lateral link, through the knuckle, through the other side, through the other lateral link, and then here we have a 21mm mounting nut. On the far side, a 21mm headed bolt. Now we should see some movement from the bolt. If you do not, it might be stuck in the lateral links or in the knuckle. You want to break it free. Now if you do have to tap on this end with a hammer, use your original mounting nut, start it on just a couple threads. Couple taps with a hammer. Okay, so that bolt can move around. Now I am going to leave this bolt in place so my trailing arms do not swing down as I continue on. Now we're going to start removing our bracket holding our flex hose in place. So we can see where our flex hose is and we can see the bracket. There's a 10mm bolt holding this in place. We can remove the bolt, dislodge the bracket. After dislodging this side rear brake flex hose, I'm going over to the other side of the vehicle and going to dislodge that side as well. Let's follow those trailing arms in towards the center of the subframe. Now as we look in this area, at the end of the lateral links, we can see the mounting hardware. We're going to loosen the inboard side of each of the lateral links from the subframe so we can lower the subframe without causing any damage. Now as we follow the rear lateral link in towards the center of our rear subframe, we can see where our hardware is. We have a 21mm headed mounting bolt coming from the rearward side in and through the subframe and lateral link. In this port, we can see a 21mm mounting nut. Now if you were to look along the rear of the subframe, where the bolt head is, you can see the spare tire well. This is blocking the bolt from coming out, which is why we're going to have to lower the subframe. With that said, I'm just going to use my wrench here, 21mm, socket on the inboard side. Let's loosen this hardware. Now let's move towards the forward lateral link. Same process here. We're going to hold the bolt head with our 21mm. Now let's put a jack underneath the center of the subframe. We are going to have to alter the height of the subframe, so just keep that in mind. Now along each side of the subframe, you're going to find that you have 2 18mm headed mounting bolts. I'm on the side that we're working on here. I'm going to fully remove these 2 bolts. Now let's go over to the other side of the subframe. On the passenger side, let's fully remove our subframe bolts there as well. Let's look at the bolt that holds our lateral arms in place to our steering knuckle. We're going to start sliding that out of place. Let's take hold of the first lateral arm. We can swing it down. Continue removing that mounting bolt from the forward lateral arm as well. There's that bolt. If it looks rusted or rotted, you want to replace it. I'm just going to use a bungee cord to hang that rear lateral link out of my way. Now we can start lowering our subframe down. We're going to be paying attention for our bolt in this port. We want to try to come down low enough that we can start removing the bolt. Of course, we do still have our mounting nut in this area. Now I'll remove that mounting nut. At this point, we're going to take hold of the subframe. We should be able to move it around by hand. You can also use a pry bar if necessary. Just be extremely careful. When we shift this, we're attempting to remove the bolts through the subframe, through our lateral link, and then we can remove that lateral link from the vehicle. Go ahead and take hold of that lateral arm and remove it. There it is, friend. Prior to installing our brand new part, let's make sure we clean and inspect the mounting area. I'm using a wire brush. A little bit of rust is okay. Just make sure it's not rotted and weak in any way. This looks good. Let's prepare to install the brand new forward lateral link. We're going to bring it up and above our emergency brake cable. Now we'll swing it up into position inside of the subframe. Continuing on, we need to install our mounting bolt. As you know, the mounting bolt will come through from the front towards the rear. In this area, we can start on our mounting nut once it is in place. We've got our mounting bolt. Mounting nut. Now we're only starting on the hardware. We are not snugging or torquing this yet. Let's continue on. Now we can reapply support underneath the center of the rear subframe. We're going to align all 4 of our mounting bolt ports, 2 along each side of the vehicle. As we bring the subframe up, we want to leave it loose so we can still move it around as necessary. Along either side of the vehicle, we're going to be doing the same thing. Once you have it aligned, start in both of the mounting bolts. Now that I have those bolts started in for the subframe, since I'm still in this area, I'm also going to secure my mounting bracket for my flex hose. We have a 10mm bolt for that. Now that I have all 3 pieces of hardware started on this side, I'm going over to the other side of the vehicle, repeat that exact same process. Afterward, we're going to start with the subframe bolts. Snug them down, torque them to 81 foot-pounds. All 4 bolts. Tighten this mounting bolt for the flex hose. And now I'm going over to the other side of the vehicle to repeat that exact same process. Now that the subframe is properly in place and torqued, go ahead and remove support. Now I've removed my strap so I can hang this down. We have our long bolt. This bolt is going to go through our forward lateral arm, through the knuckle, And then of course we'll slide it through the rearward lateral arm as well. Along the back side of the rearward lateral arm, we have a washer and of course our mounting nut. Now before we start tightening and torquing our hardware, we need to bring our rear suspension into normal ride height. So with that said, I'm going to be applying pressure underneath this area. We'll bring it up just a couple inches, then we can continue on snugging and torquing. Now that I have this at ride height, I'm going to snug and torque this mounting bolt to 103 foot-pounds. While we still have pressure underneath the rear suspension, let's make our way towards the center. Now in this area, we need to snug and torque this hardware as well, 103 foot-pounds. Now we can torque them to that 103 foot-pounds. Now we can remove support from underneath our suspension. Now let's make sure we tighten our adjustment point. As I mentioned, the alignment professional will make any adjustments as necessary in the end. I'm using a 1-inch wrench to hold the center area here, and we're using our 1 1/16 for the jam nut. Make sure those are nice and tight and there is no movement from this area. Let's install our rear wheel. Once you have your wheel in place, start on all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts. We'll bottom them out. Get the wheel back on the ground and torque all of them to 100 foot-pounds. Now that I have the wheel back on the ground, I'm going to be torquing each one of my lug nuts to that 100 foot-pounds in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. The next thing you have to do is take your vehicle for a road test. You're going to listen for any odd noises and get yourself a 4-wheel alignment. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.